I am here at the Foundry Recording Studio with Justen and Jason. What is something that you guys are seeing that like the music industry is kind of lacking?
I think access is a big one. There's really no place to actually do the thing unless you invest a ton of money yourself into building a home studio. And we love home studios. We both have home studios. Trying to find a space where like anybody, no matter where you are on the spectrum, like whether you're just starting or whether you're a top pro, can just walk in and for a low cost find that place to make or create music.
You go to a professional studio, right? I mean, that's a big paywall, right? And there's a huge investment in that. I mean, we've made a huge investment here, right? So giving access to that, when we did our pricing, we were like, literally, how physically low can we go to make this work at first?
Why did you start the Foundry Recording Studio?
Yeah, so
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Studio One. I am here at the Foundry Recording Studio with Justen and Jason. How are you guys doing today?
What's going on, man? Good to see you.
doing great.
Good. That's awesome. Day started well. I mean, it's what, 14 for us right now?
Yep.
Anything happened this morning?
No, it was a quiet morning. Came in, cleaned the toilets, cleaned the doors. You're just trying to keep the place in tip-top
Classic
shape.
studio stuff.
And then, just putting things away, getting things organized.
Yeah,
So
I finally got some organization bins.
Yes.
So like, that's really nice.
we're getting rid of cardboard
gonna be great.
boxes and moving to a little bit more robust system.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because you guys, we'll get into this in a minute, but you guys technically just opened up. Like, when was like the first like day that you were like doors open?
July 28th was
Okay.
the first day that we were booking. Yeah. And we
Yep.
had 3 sessions that day. So
That's
yeah.
insane. Were they already booked, or were they just like walk-ins? Like,
No, they were booked.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of each, I think, over that first week.
Yeah.
We did a open house for the community the Saturday before on the 26th and had probably 300, 400 people show up just out of the blue. So,
that's so good.
yeah, we did tours nonstop for about 5-6 hours.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
So,
Yeah.
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 Dude, I'm excited to talk about the Foundry and all that's here. But first, before we do that, I want to get a little bit of info from you guys. So, where are you from? Are you guys local right now we're in Bethlehem, PA. Are you guys from this area? Give us a little bit of insight on that.
Yeah, so I'm the transplant here. So I grew up in Westchester, PA, Downingtown, Exton, down that way. I grew up going into Philly all the time, but moved out here. I took a job at Moravian University, and so I got married and moved up here with my wife about 10 years ago. So I've been here since 2015.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jason?
Yeah, I moved here from New Jersey in like 3rd grade. So this is my hometown, my home stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. I went to Catasauqua High School for my freshman year and was in Caddy when I moved here, and then went to the Performing Arts High School from sophomore to senior, and then went to L-Tri-C and still here, man. Never left.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so sick. That's
Yeah.
awesome. What is your guys' role here at the Foundry Recording Studio? Like, what day to day, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'm the studio director, so I'm kind of in charge of right now everything. I am the sole employee at this point, so the only W-2 employee. Cleaning, running the books, running sessions, scheduling contractors for whatever's needed that day, and so kind of in charge of it all right now.
Yeah, and I'm the founder, so I'm the one that kind of came up with the original idea and then was able to kind of meet Jason along the way. We kind of teamed up and built the whole thing out from start to finish and went out and found investment. So yeah, my day-to-day is basically just doing everything I can to help as best I can and make sure Jason's good and our other assistants and SOS positions that we have are good to go. But yeah, my day is just being here and just pitching in however I can and trying to help as best I can.
Yeah.
So.
Did you guys, so I'm kind of curious now, did you guys grow up together, or is this like a later in your life you guys like cross paths?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, you tell the story way better than I do. So.
Yeah, so it's a later in life. I was teaching at Moravian one day, and a student didn't show up for a lesson, so I was kind of just sitting there bored. And I'd had this thought for so long, like I was a performer, right? And especially at church or when I'd go back and listen to like a live broadcast of like things that were going on, I'm like, my voice does not sound like that. What is happening from the time it gets from here to there? And I realized I had no idea what the sound guy was doing. And I'd only ever looked at it from the artist perspective. And so there had been this thought in my head of like, I need to learn the recording side of things because I want to be able to speak that language so that I can better get my voice to sound where I want it to be. And so, yeah, a student didn't show up, and I was just like, you know what? For some reason, today's the day. I'm gonna just like blind email a studio and just see what happens. And I just literally Googled studios near me. Right up the road was a small studio that Jason was a part of. I just sent a blind email and was like, hey, can I come by and just like talk and learn? And Jason was on the other side of that email, and that's how we met.
Yeah,
So cool.
So,
yeah. And then we'd start doing lessons every couple weeks and stuff. And then when COVID happened, we lost touch for a good while.
Yeah.
From that whole shutdown, because the studio that I worked at was underneath a church, and I was also actually a production director and worship director up there. It was a small church, so production director and worship director kind of went hand in hand, and especially during COVID, right? Because everything was a production, right? Because we were all at home.
Yep.
So that went on for like 2 years, and then then we got reconnected, and Justin pitched the idea to me of opening up a recording studio, and at the time there was just so much going on in my life, and I just felt like it probably wasn't the right time. So I said no. Started working then, left that studio, left that church, started working at another church around here, which was phenomenal. It was Grace Church Bethlehem. I was their production director for a while, and then time went on, and got reconnected after a crazy phone call. I guess I called Justin right at the right time when he went over to the investor's office, where he was going to kind of put a pause on the studio because he couldn't find the right person.
Yep.
And I just so happened to call him because I was in kind of like a transition too of knowing it was time to move on soon from where I was at. And I was like, hey man, there's a building for sale. I don't know if you're still doing the studio thing, but hey, here's this building. And you're like, no, it's okay. You're like, but what's going on in your life? I'm like, looking to make a switch. I was actually looking to go into cybersecurity.
Oh, really?
And so it was like a big
switch,
180 switch.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for a whole nother time of how I got to that point. But and then right before
I
you
was
walked
like,
in.
are you still interested in maybe doing that studio thing? Because I'm looking for a guy to be like the point person and the head of the snake, if you will. And he was like, well,
I have a couple stipulations, right? Because I know from the past, right? I still don't believe newer big commercial studios work in a sense, because there's not I don't know. The way that things used to be aren't the way they are anymore, right? Big record labels don't have these huge budgets for commercial spaces. And so I was like, one, we have to put a twist on a commercial space if we do it. So there has to be something else, which we'll talk about in a little bit, a community-focused commercial recording studio. And two, we have to own the building. So we can't lease, because there's been a couple other studios here in Bethlehem that were actually like really nice studios, but they were leasing. And after a couple months, a couple years, the lease ended, and then they were asked to leave. And so that was really important to me to find a building.
yeah,
So,
we heard so many horror stories just talking to people around here, and just sad, really. Just they put all this work into a space, and then the landlord's like, I'm going to build apartments, like goodbye. And they lost a lot of that effort. And so we felt that, and so we were like, if we're going to do this, we want to do it right.
Yep.
And so the first step of that was owning the building. So, but that's how we met.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long story. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's so cool. And that's a good transition to like how you guys met. It's like, how did you individually, who kind of like introduced you to music when you were young?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was my mother and my grandmother. My mother was a piano teacher growing up. And so I kind of just grew up, around that my whole life, really. And my grandmother was an elementary music teacher for almost 60 years. And so I had no choice but to sing and to perform. And so, my whole childhood was literally practicing piano or singing. And so I just kind of grew up in that whole musical environment. And so, but I would say my mother and my grandmother were definitely the biggest like musical influences on my life early on.
Yeah. My dad is a really good guitarist, really good guitarist. And so, growing up in church as well, he's playing guitar. Of course, naturally, I want to be on the worship team too, right? So I learned guitar. He taught me. And music was just then always a part of my life. He was in some really good bands too, like when I was growing up. So every Friday, I remember almost every single Friday night, I'd hop in the car with him and I'd go over to his drummer's house where they would do rehearsals and just hang out with my cousins, because my uncle was also in the band, so he's a really good singer and a really good bass player. And so it was like every single Friday night growing up, like we'd go over to the drummer's house and I'd hang out with my cousins. They'd play some songs, and
No, that's some cool core memories. I feel like that
Yeah.
shaped you guys because you guys were
Yeah.
around it for like pretty much all your life. And like
All
some
our
people are
lives,
like, I mean, it seems like a blessing because your families were very engaged in the music. Because some people are like, parents are like, I just don't play, but I want my kid to play. But you guys are just constantly in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it just. I mean, I feel like it got you here.
Yeah.
That's
It's
that's
true.
why it got you here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's a collection of all those different musical experiences that give you the breadth and the knowledge of like being able to run a business like this.
Yeah.
It all kind of slots together over time. I think there's parts of my life that I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
But then like I look back and reflect and I learned something specific. Like even Jason was just saying, like some of his experiences helped him, know how to set up cameras and like, every little piece is slotting together to like create us this business and enable us to hopefully succeed in this business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I know some people when they think of like musicians or something like that, it's like they people live and breathe in studios and it's like all they do. But in reality, you guys do have other things you like to do. What's like one hobby that individually you guys like to do that's like just something that like if you're not thinking about music, if you're not really doing it, like it's like, hey, this is where I'm gonna go to. It could be gaming, it could be like hiking, it could be camping, whatever it is. Like, what's your thing that's like outside of music? You guys are like, that's kind of my thing.
Can I give you like more than one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I would say for me, I'm a huge gamer, so
Okay.
I love gaming. I
What's your
have
game
two
right
children now, so it's harder to do like the multiplayer games like
Okay.
I used to. Like I used to be into like Rainbow Six Siege, like Overwatch, Destiny
Okay.
1. Like I was.
Did you see the Battlefield 6?
I did.
Did you play the beta?
I haven't played the beta,
Okay.
but it looks cool.
It was
It looks
good.
cool.
It
I
was
was
good.
really
It was good.
sad
Oh,
by
yeah.
the last Battlefield, so I'm a little scarred.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, gaming is definitely a big part right now. I'm working through some RPGs like Clair Obscura 33 right now, and just with kids, I have to kind of go more single player games because I can only do like 30 minutes to an hour at a time here and there. So I've had to shift a little bit, but I still enjoy, booting up some Halo or, some Call of Duty once in a while and just wreck some people. So it's fun. And plus it's always fun to play with, my sister and my dad and stuff. So, but then I'm a huge basketball fan, big 76ers fan. So I would say basketball is a huge part of my life. I'm really looking forward to this year. My son is almost going to turn 5, so going to our first Sixers game together.
That's so
I'm
cool.
really excited about doing that this year. And then I took up darts. And Olivia got it for me for Christmas, my wife. And so I've been it's a great like late night, like 10 o'clock, nobody's up, just relaxing, just throw some darts, man. Listen to a podcast, listen to some Doug Fern on the podcast, just throw some darts. So that's been relaxing. So I'd say those 3 things right now for me.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
sick.
solid. All right.
Yeah.
Can you top that, Jason?
No, actually, I am really boring. I do also love playing video games. Like I grew up playing Halo, right? So Halo was like my game for so long, and then Halo Infinite, Anyway, so I was playing video. I played video games, but really what I've I was like thinking, Justin's like rattling off all these things, like really what is like my hobby outside of here? I really like to throw myself into whatever I'm doing, right? Like whatever I'm doing is my hobby. So whether it was like when I was doing the recording studio before or working for a church, like I'm always kind of thinking of how to make whatever I'm doing better or just learning about things. So when I'm not doing that, it's just hanging out with my wife, man, is really just spending some time with her and we just recently bought a house. Actually, now that's a year ago now.
Yeah.
This year has gone by so fast, but doing some home projects, painting, all that kind of stuff, man. So really boring compared to Justin, honestly.
Well, no, I mean, I was trying to give like, answers that aren't, spending time with my family. Because that's obviously
the boring stuff. Come on.
That's obviously my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, my bad.
But,
it's fun hobbies. No.
Making me look bad. I got to throw darts.
That's amazing, dude. I mean, I appreciate it. That's so good. I love the balance that you guys have. It's so good. Before we get into the whole interview, we're going to play a quick game, this or that. I got 4 questions for you.
Sweet.
We'll do rapid fire. If there's a little bit of banter, I love the banter. So the first one is coffee or tea?
Coffee,
100%.
Okay, every morning.
Forget tea.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
Yeah, man.
What are
Just
we
go
doing,
for it.
people?
Come on.
Okay, cool.
And if you don't like coffee, it's because you haven't had good beans.
It's true.
Shout out to Toasted and Roasted
and
up the
Roasted.
street.
I
had to shout them out, man.
They actually provide all the beans for the studio here. So if you
that's
come to the
so
Foundry,
good.
you're going to get to try that toasted and roasted goodness.
Yeah.
so good.
And they're amazing people too.
Oh, amazing.
That is a shameless plug. And
Yep.
no, we did not get paid to say
Nope.
that. I swear.
We'll throw it out there. We'll throw them in the description, dude. It
There
would
you
be
go.
great.
I love it. Coffee,
Sponsors,
100%.
guys, come on.
Yeah.
All right. Early morning recording session or late night recording session?
Early morning. Yeah.
I'm late
100%.
night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm terrible in the mornings, but I can go till 3 a.m. no problem. So I'm a night owl.
Yeah. Yeah.
love
Early
it.
mornings, 100%. Yep.
That's great. All right. Rock or pop music?
Can we do both? Rock
For the,
and
for the
pop?
sake of this
It's gotta be
game,
this or
it
that,
has to
man.
be
You
one or the
can't-
other.
you
No,
can't
I
be doing
agree with
middle.
you, but I'm looking for a little bit of divide here.
Yeah, pop.
Pop?
then.
I'm rock 100%.
Okay. What's like, give me one band for each of you, one rock band, one pop band. That you're like, these guys.
My favorite band right now is The War on Drugs. They're out of Philly.
Okay.
They're kind of like indie, I'd say alternative rock, but they're my number one right now for rock.
Honestly, I think my number one right now is Hotel Apache. I've been listening to them a
Mm.
lot. Really cool, like 1975 kind of vibe, like
Yeah.
all that stuff. Like the 1975 is huge. I
Yeah.
really like them too. Yeah, that's
That's
about
awesome.
It. Yeah,
I love it. Last one. Studio or live show?
studio. Yeah,
That's tough, man. See, I'm a singer,
So you like that
And-
live show stuff?
and I just did a live show on Sunday, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I do think the studio still wins for me though, because I love the creativity. I love producing. Like, I love working on the art. Like, I love the process of that. Whereas a live performance, it's like one and done. There is no going back.
Yeah.
So there's a thrill on either side of that. But I would have to say studio probably if I had to pick. If you're making me pick,
Yeah. I'll make you
Yeah.
pick.
I'm studio then.
Yeah, it's really hard, like for me, because whenever I've gone to like a lot of live shows and the mixes are always just like not great,
Yeah.
and so like it's really hard to like want to spend a lot of money on a band you really like to not have the best experience live. So I would way rather throw earbuds in or AirPods and just listen to a record, close my eyes, and
Yeah.
do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, those are good answers.
Yeah. Thanks.
I know. And it is wild with live shows. It is like, it can make it or break with lighting, with
Yes.
with audio, with all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, you could be the best artist. And then like, if your mix is terrible,
Yep.
it's like, people are going to be like, that guy was not that good. Or
Yep.
it wasn't. So it's like,
And he
there's
could have
a
been,
lot
or
of,
she could have been phenomenal.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The band could have like done the best performance of their life, but the last musician is the A1, right?
That's
Is
right.
is the engineer.
And that's what I realized like 6 years ago. And I'm just like, I need to figure out how to be a good A1, because if not, like my signal chain is broken, right? It leaves
Yeah.
my mouth and I have no idea what happens after that.
Yeah.
So that's what motivated me to learn all this stuff. It was just like, I want it to be as good as it possibly can be,
Yeah.
all the way through the chain.
Yeah.
So.
I totally agree. We're going to jump into the Foundry Recording Studio, some questions about that. So just to jump into that, why did you start the Foundry Recording Studio?
Yeah, so it started with me. I was a teacher for 2 universities in the area, and I loved teaching. I loved teaching my students. But I was realizing the academic side of things is really clinical and very more knowledge based and less experiential based. There's some experiences, but really the Foundry was kind of born out of my desire to have a place for my students to go to do the thing. So if they're a singer, right, they need a place to go sing. They need a place to do live performances. They need a place to record. They need a place to like experiment with the tools that are out there with microphones. And so that's kind of where it started, was like, what if I could build this space where these students could come and experience like real working musicians, real working people and get real world experience, rather than, in the classroom or in a very, I would say, sterile teaching environment, like in a, small singing room. Right. And so that was the number one thing, was like, what if I could basically create something that would allow those students to experience that. And the original pitch in my brain was, I don't know if you're familiar with the NBA at all, but the NBA has like the top level, but then they have what's called the G League, which is like all these guys trying to get into the NBA, but they get to travel with the NBA teams, they get the access to the NBA's resources, but they're not NBA players, but they're kind of that, double A, triple A, like baseball almost, but it's the G League. And so I was like, what if I could do a G League for musicians and singers? And so I came up with this concept, and it always had a recording studio in it, but I didn't really know much about it. So I eventually ended up connecting with Jason, and he helped me was like, well, instead of just practice rooms on the outside of the building, like you could turn all those into studios too. And so have this dual purpose facility. And so then we basically married that artist and engineer and producer together into one space. And that's what became the Foundry.
Yeah.
So it was my original thought. And then Jason was the one that really helped me how do we put this all together so that it's not just reaching one group of people, but like and wherever you are on the audio side, like we have a spot for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Why'd you guys choose Bethlehem? Because like a lot of times people will be like Nashville, LA, New York. Like why Bethlehem?
Yeah.
Take that one?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, because I've been here for a long time, right? And there is so much talent in the Lehigh Valley, man. There's so much talent in Bethlehem, the Lehigh Valley, and there just has never been like this like creative hub or this resource for musicians and engineers to do what they love to do professionally. And so we were like, well, why don't we build that, to give resource? Because if you're really good in the Lehigh Valley, if you're really good, you leave, right? You go out to Miami, you go out to New York, you go out to Philly, you go out to LA, right? And so we're trying to give people a chance to stay here and to cultivate something here, which is really hard in the music industry to do. But I think we've built a space that's extremely purpose-driven for that. And yeah, man, yeah, that's
I think also too, like location, I won't say it's a hidden gem because I think the Lehigh Valley has really exploded over the last 5 years, but we're an hour from Philly. We're an hour and a half from New York City. Like we are like right in the middle on the East Coast. And so our vision is like, we're going to be the Nashville of the East Coast in 10 to 15 years. Yeah. Like that's our long-term vision is there's so many talented people up and down the Eastern Seaboard and we're kind of right dab in the middle. Yeah. So we think from a market perspective and from a location perspective, easy to get in and out, not super expensive compared to the cities. We've got parking. We have all the amenities that make the recording studio process super easy and enjoyable to come here. So
yeah, and then more than anything, I mean, we say we're not opening up a commercial recording studio. We're opening up a 5-star resort for musicians, engineers, and producers to do what they love to do, and to do what they do best, right? And to learn and to grow. And so, I mean, like I said, I mean, I can't say it enough. There's so much talent in Lehigh Valley. There just hasn't been this connector hub, and that's who we are. Yeah,
you guys kind of already I feel like pushing this a little bit, but I want to dive into a little more like the vision and the goal behind this place. Like I know you just said something about your vision. Could you maybe dive into a little more of like what you guys see this place becoming?
Yeah, so I think we have like 3 big pillars that we're attacking from a business side. But I'll start first with our vision from the beginning was basically from the top down, we want to build the best studio we possibly could so that anyone in the world would want to come here and record. But then from the bottom up, how can we support our local community with the studio? And so all the decisions that we made along the way as far as how the business runs, the pricing, everything was, let's have the best studio we can from the top to the bottom. And then from the bottom, how do we support this studio and make it thrive by tapping into our local community, whether that's artists, engineers, session players. So that's kind of like our approach from a business perspective. But then the actual pillars that we have here are access, community, and education. And Jason, do you want to kind of explain more of those 3 pillars?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So access is basically giving access, like Justin was saying, to people in the Lehigh Valley and abroad too, to a world-class facility, world-class gear, and world-class people. So that's the access part. The community part is we wanted to be the central creative hub and let's just say like the home for musicians, engineers, and producers. For example, our lounge is open from 10 to 6 as a free co-working space Monday through Saturday for artists, engineers, and producers to use. So instead of going to Starbucks, come here, get a free cup of coffee and hang out. And then the education part is really near and dear to both of our hearts. I mean, Justin has been a professional educator and I love engineering and I love producing. Like that's fun. And trust me, it's really fun. But I love to help other people do their best work. Like that's just been my whole thing. Is that, I mean, that's how we got connected. Is you reached out for some audio engineering lessons, and that is my passion. So bringing in master classes, educational resources. Networking events, all of these kind of things that make us different from just a commercial recording studio, that really make us this community-focused commercial recording studio where it's open, it's here, it's available. You'll be trained, learned, and brought up.
We also believe that you can't make your best music in isolation.
Yeah.
And I think technology has driven us apart as musicians because we can be in our bedrooms. And you can do a lot of really good things in there, but you're only limited by your experience. And when you are in a community of musicians and artists and engineers, like the creativity that comes from working with just one other person in a room is wild, let alone 7 or 8 people. And what the big music industry doesn't want you to know is all of those big artists that are successful, they have this huge team of creatives that help them make them what they are. Yeah. And I think if we can bring back that community aspect of like, we make songs together, not I did this myself. Like, I think people are going to go farther. The songs will be better. The art will be better. And so that's kind of our vision here of like, let's come back together. Technology has enabled us to be apart. But what if we all got in the same room? What would happen? And I think that magic is what we're searching for a little bit here too.
Yeah. It kind of leads into a question that I have is what void, or maybe like what problem do you see like in the music industry right now that you guys feel like you can fix? I feel like you guys are you're tapping into something, you're dancing around something. Yeah. Like what is something that you guys are seeing that like the music industry is kind of lacking?
I think access is a big one. You know, I think a lot of studios are private studios and for good reason. But I think just letting somebody walk in off the street and walk into a room and start making music, like we tried to streamline that as best we could. So I think we ran into a lot of like there's really no place to actually do the thing unless you invest a ton of money yourself into building a home studio. And we love home studios. We both have home studios and that they're great. But trying to find a space where like anybody, no matter where you are on the spectrum, like whether you're just starting or whether you're a top pro, can just walk in and for a low cost, like find that place to make or create music. And so I think, would you agree with me that the access was a big one for us?
Yeah, I think on a bigger level, right, with access is gatekeeping. So we've encountered a lot of that, a lot of gatekeeping information. Yeah, like let's just say, I mean, you know, you go to a professional studio, right? I mean, that's a big paywall, right? And there's a huge investment in that. I mean, we've made a huge investment here, right? Yeah. So, you know, so giving access to that, I mean, when we did our pricing, we were like, literally, how physically low can we go to make this work at first? And hopefully we keep everything as low as physically possible moving forward too. So it's, and then even with like, gatekeeping information and all that kind of stuff, we're just trying to, but also on top of that too is like treating people as people and not treating people as a commodity. So in the big music industry in general, right, the artist is kind of a commodity that people consume, right, in a sense, right, with their music and everything. And so I really, really like want to make this place a safe haven for musicians, producers, and engineers to be treated as people. It goes back to the 5-star resort kind of thing, right? To give them a home and a safe space where they know not only are they cared for in the space and in the gear, but just as people, right? Yeah. Cared for really deeply as people.
We were talking with somebody last week and something came out of that discussion where like we value people over the art. Like it's the person first. Like not that we don't care about the art's important, but a lot of the music industry has reversed that, right? The art, we'll sacrifice everything for the art. And we say no. We sacrifice everything for the person. That then we believe will help them make their best art. You know? And so we trying to flip that a little bit.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, I mean, I can really feel you guys' heart behind that. And it's cool because I feel like, I know you haven't been open too long, but I feel like that's already kind of happening for you guys where like people are just coming in off the streets just to like record. And And this is like a super welcoming spot. So I really hope that it continues that way. And I feel like the trajectory looks like it's going to continue that way. So that's awesome.
Man.
I do want to kind of give people an idea of like, what do you guys, in like a quick overview, what do you guys offer here?
Yeah.
Like if someone's going to walk in, like what could they expect?
Yeah. So we are 100% full service, no matter what you need. If you're man, it's anywhere from ADR to music production to, I mean, just literally just about anything.
Video production too.
Video production as well, right? We have basically we say we have a room for every budget. So our production suites are 10 by 12 rooms that have really good gear, about $25,000 worth of gear in them. They're tuned, they're treated, come with a microphone, some really good preamps. Those are only $30 an hour. Our rehearsal rooms, we have 2 rehearsal rooms, and they are fully outfitted with wedges, an X32, P16s, a drum set, backline, the whole thing at $50 an hour. Our Studio B is a world-class, intimate, smaller recording studio space with a really nice live room attached, and $65 an hour. And Studio A, which is where we're at right now in the live room, at about $100 an hour. But if you need an engineer, we can add on engineers. If you need an assistant, really at the end of the day, like whatever you need, we're making it a part of our business model to take care of you. So.
Yeah, so we have 8 total studio rooms, 10 total rooms, but 8 studios, as well as our community lounge as well. And so, yeah, again, we're just trying to, you can literally walk off the street. You can book online and come in, and we're going to treat you wonderfully and try to take care of you as best we can. So we try to make the booking process as open and transparent as possible too. All the prices are there, easy to book. And so a lot of things we were running into is like call for pricing. We're like, hey, we don't want to do that. We want to make it super easy. You know exactly how much you're paying and you know exactly what you're getting yourself into before you walk in the door. And so we try to keep it as open and honest and transparent as possible, but also have a place or a space for wherever you are, whatever, however much money you want to spend that day. So
yeah, and if an artist comes in and they just don't know where to start, and they're like, I really just want to record an album, we do free consultation services with them. So we'll sit down in the lounge and talk to them about the whole process, what they're going to need, listen to some of their demos. And if they don't have a demo, hey, start with a demo, right? You can go record that for, take an hour to track down with one mic in a production suite, right? So yeah, giving just, again, even resource, right? Education and resource into how to utilize a facility like this, because there hasn't been, let's just say, an affordable commercial recording studio space in our area with multiple rooms and, as complex as this business is. And so training people and teaching people how to utilize these services is really important to us.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, this place, when I walked in, I was like, dang, I wish I lived a little closer because I'd be here more often. Because it's such a cool vibe. So I'm really excited for people, especially in the Bethlehem area, just kind of start experiencing that. And I love what you guys are saying. I want to quickly jump into a little bit about you guys. And one of the questions I have for you guys is, and you both take this one at a time, like, why do you love, like, what is this something, why do you love music? Like, what is the heart behind that for you guys?
I mean, for me, it's the creation process. I think there's nothing like, for me, singing is my favorite thing to do for sure. I love playing too, but yeah, I think I was forced into it as a child. Like my family was very musical, and so like they pushed me there, and I had talents for sure there, and time put in. So I think for me, a lot of times it was like, this is just what I'm really good at. But actually falling in love with really I think the expression side of things, especially like in the opera world where I studied, really digging into the texts. How do the texts connect with the music? How can we present that in a beautiful and emotional way, I think is really what I love digging into. But again, along the way, I fell in love with teaching too. And there's nothing like working with a vocalist or a pianist and helping them find their voice and giving them the tools to find their own music and working on that with them. It's just a wonderful experience. So yeah, I think for me, I just love the creation aspect. I love the process of it. For me, it's really not the end product I think is really important. But for me, that the journey of like building a song or creating something is, I love that journey. So whether I'm teaching it or I'm doing it myself, I think the journey is what I love the most. The work.
Yeah.
I've just fell in love with the work.
Yeah.
So
I like that. Yeah. For me, I think I really like people. I like talking to people. I'm a huge people person. And so to help somebody create something that they've had in their heart for so long, get it down and make that tangible and make it beautiful is like one of the biggest gifts to me personally when I'm working with an artist. I enjoy that. I wouldn't say I enjoy the end product more than the artist, right? But being able to help people, do what they love and do what they love well, I think is what really, because I'll switch track here. I went to the Performing Arts High School for vocals, right? And I hit my senior year and I went, oh, I don't want to do this professionally. Like, I do not want to do this. I don't want to be a teacher in voice performance. I don't want to do the performance side of it. And so I spent all my graduation money on a home recording studio setup. And I was like, I just really like working with the people, all my friends that were at the school, right? Helping them do what they do best. And so I think that's why I love music so much, is because of the connection process that you have with your artist when you're an engineer or producer. That's just my favorite thing.
Yeah, that's so good. Is there a highlight so far? You've only been open less than a month, maybe a month. Is there a highlight session you guys have had so far that you're like, that was so much fun?
Well, probably the session that we did ourselves in Studio A on Saturday. We did a demo session with a wonderful friend of mine. His name's Wyatt Davidic, and he has a 7-piece band. They're very like Volcano Choir, Bon Iver, like very indie style. What was drums, upright bass, horn, Steinway, like lap steel guitar, violin, and acoustic and vocal. And the demo session was just to see how far can we push this room. No gobos, just all live off the floor in this room, placing people specifically to make sure that the mics all sound good and get less bleed. And that was just a absolutely wonderful thing. Being able to work with you too in that as well, and with production and engineering was incredible.
It really was a culmination of the whole last year and a half of this process. We have spent the last year and a half dealing with things we know nothing about. Construction, like all of those things, like design, right? Like we've just been talking to people that know what they're doing, but we don't know what we're doing. So for me, it was the culmination of like, I finally get to do something that I'm actually good at and actually make real music and work with Jason doing that. We've just been building this building, but we actually got to make music together, which we haven't done in a year and a half. So I think that was just so exciting for both of us, and honestly a relief because everything worked. And so that was a big relief on our hearts.
Everything worked. The room sounded absolutely immaculate. You know, you do all this design and this prep work, and our acoustic company Sondus has done a phenomenal job. They did the master planning for the whole building, the layout. They've done all the acoustic mill work in here too, everything. And when we do the tour, you'll be able to see that. But to know that we went into this room, we put mics up, and it sounded absolutely awesome right off the rip. It was a huge sigh of relief.
What was theory is now like reality, which was cool to actually feel. Even just walking in this building every morning, you're just like, wow, it's not in my head anymore. It's here. Like, I can't believe I'm actually standing in it. What was in my head 7 years ago? And so, it's just been a real dream come true for me in a lot of ways.
I love it. As we close out, it's been a great time. Thank you guys so much for having me
here.
You.
Man,
As we close out, what is the rest of, because right now it's August, this is probably going to come out in September, but what does the rest of 2025 look like for you guys here at the Foundry Studio Recording
That's
Studio?
a big old question, man.
Oh man, so much.
Nice small snippet. If you give me like,
I think over the next 6 months, we're really just going to be listening to people. Every person that comes in, we talk to them and say, what could we have done better? How can we make this an easier experience for you? What are we missing? All those things. And I think just trying to build slow and just refine each and every day and make this studio better each and every day. The biggest one for us is coming up in about a month. We're going to be doing a grand opening of sorts with the Chamber of Commerce here in Bethlehem. And so that will kind of be our first, like, I guess, news or media publishing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a lot of work to do before then, but I think just, refining the studio, trying to make it better for each person that comes in is our goal over the next probably 6 months.
Yeah, we're a startup, right? And so, we couldn't really do much of anything until the building's open. And now that it's open and it's working, like Justin said, testing things. Justin and I have never run a studio like this before, right? This is our first time in this kind of capacity.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have the very, very unique, wonderful opportunity of owning the building, one. So that really helps as far as deadlines and budgets month to month. But two, experimenting and trying new things, right? The industry says this is always, you have to work like this and this is the only way it works, right? Why?
Yeah.
Right?
Let's see if that's true.
Let's see if it's true. Yeah, because it might not be true. We have a good runway and a free and clear runway to try things right now. And so the experimenting, listening, seeing what works, what doesn't work. If somebody's like, hey, have you ever thought about this? There's been, literally every single week, somebody's like, have you thought about this? And we're like, well, let me write that down. Or I'll immediately get my phone out and write the idea down and see how we can implement that. Yeah. And it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of work in the next 6 months to close out 2025. But hey, we did it. We're open. The building is done. And that's the biggest relief for 2025 for us. So, yeah.
I love it. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that? Obviously, you could always just walk in.
Yeah,
but
of course.
What's the best way to like book and stuff like that?
Yeah, give us a call, go on our website, go on our Instagram, go on our Facebook, and reach out. Our phone number's right there. You can email us, reach out via Instagram DM. But as far as booking, you can go literally right on the website and
right
book.
now.
Right now.
TheFoundryRecordingStudio.com.
Yep.
And all the studio spaces are bookable right there. You don't even have to talk to us if you don't want to. And you can just show up and we'll be here waiting for you with your session ready to go.
Yep.
So
100%.
That's so sick. That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for sitting down with me. This
Thanks,
has been
Christian.
such a great conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Man.
And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Peace in.